For today's Conservation Week video, we're out on Sugar Island looking at an active timber harvest. Looking around us, we have some mature northern hardwoods that's in the middle of a harvest right now, and it's not actively being cut, but the equipment's still here, so we're going to get a good look at some of the stuff that we're going to have for this harvest. This next segment here, we're going to look at this pile of logs. It's mostly oak in here with a little bit of red maple. As you can see, some of these logs are misshaped and have some defect in them. Part of the issue with logging on Sugar Island is the amount of stain that we get in the logs here. You really want to try to minimize that, and that's just a factor of your soil and the amount of light conditions here. It's part of the struggle about growing in wet conditions. So for here, we're really trying to maximize the growth of the trees so that they're not sitting any longer than they have to, and that will minimize the risk of any defects. So the trails on this harvest here are in excellent condition. We were blessed with some really nice dry weather the last week, so there's very minimal rutting. The little bit that there has been covered up by some debris, some slash, so that it's spreading the weight of the equipment out. Every load that's coming out of this stand is coming right through this trail here. So as far as it goes for right now, we're looking pretty good. There's minimal reason for concern. This area right through here is an example of a slash road that's been made. It must have been a little wetter in here, so when the loggers were coming through, they're using the tops, the slash stuff that's too small for the pile, and they're laying that out as a road. Then they can drive their equipment across that and minimize damage to the soil. Right here you can see a pretty good example of where they were thinning it out. The objective here was to do a heavy thinning and take out all the mature trees. So right in front of us is a pile of oak logs. This oak tree here was about 14 inches at chest height when they cut it, and it's just waiting to be hauled out to the road. Behind us there's several more stumps and some maple that was left to grow. The trees that are coming in are going to provide shade to the younger ones that are going to be coming up underneath. The large amount of light that this is going to cause is going to cause a very large boom in the amount of young maple trees, as well as yellow birch and probably some oak as well. The idea here is that we get enough light in here to open the stand and provide a fresh batch of trees as a new crop. This is the machine that they're using to harvest out here. It's called a processor. The engine unit on it, it's based off of a excavator style frame. It's on these very large tracks that help to distribute the weight and provide stability. The operator station up there can rotate a full 360 degrees, and this boom can help to reach out into the brush and into the trees to reach further in to grab trees and then pull them out. All this works on hydraulics. Recently this machine here suffered a breakdown, and that's why it's not in operation right now. This is the head of the machine here. This is what does all the cutting. These pieces up here reach out and grab the tree to provide security and pull it into these wheels here. The wheels act to hold the tree from side to side and also run it through the machine. This will reach out on the boom, grab the tree. This part down here on the bottom is a big chainsaw blade, and it'll cut through a tree that's up to 20 inches in diameter. And once it's severed from the stump, these run the log through the unit here, and then cuts it into the log sections based on the operator's desire. This right here is the first part of the stand. This is the area that they cut first. Right through here is the first trail that they cut through. It was to get equipment in and out of here, this is where they took the harvester first, and then after they cut all the logs, the forwarder came through, picked up all the logs, and hauled them out to the road. This area right over here is the finished product. That's the thin stand. They're not going to take any more from that. You can see how they piled up all the tops in there, and some of it they ran over and pushed down, but those are going to stay there and provide cover and break down into the soil to provide nutrients for the stand in the future. This side over here, it's what we call a filter strip or a buffer strip. It provides some cover from the road, so everybody that drives by, unless you're looking for it, you're going to have a real hard time noticing that anybody was in here. It's not very wide, but it's thick along here, and it provides a visual breakup for the rest of the stand, and that way it's you're not having as many complaints or people coming in here wondering what you're doing. Gives the rest of the stand a very quality look and to let people know that it was thinned properly. This area behind me is an example of the stand before a harvest. This area here hasn't been thinned yet. As you can see, it's quite thick in there. The mature trees have closed in the canopy and have prevented light from reaching the forest floor. The growth is pretty slow in here right now, so within the next few weeks they're going to come through and remove the mature trees out of here so that some of the younger ones can be recruited into the overstory, forming the next class of trees. Over here in front of us we have the thin stand, just as a contrasting image. It's a pretty big change with the amount of light that's reaching the floor. That's what we're going for, is more light to the floor for more plants.